The chief business of the American president is business.
At least it was today for President Trump on the first stop of the first major foreign trip of his second term.
On his visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the distinctly Trump brand of diplomacy was on display. Less statesman than businessman in search of big money deals for the United States.
Weijia Jiang is traveling with the president. Weijia?
Oh, good evening. The day was filled with pomp and circumstance to highlight all that cash that Saudi Arabia claims it is pouring into the U.S. But it's what President Trump did not talk about, all the issues that is not only a departure from American policy in Saudi Arabia, it is unprecedented.
Even before President Trump touched down in Saudi Arabia, F-15 fighter jets welcomed him to the kingdom, setting up an extravagant visit, showcasing Arabian horses, rolling out lush lavender carpets, and playing Trump's signature dance song. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman gave him the royal treatment, then hosted an investment summit that included the CEOs of several American companies like Boeing, Nvidia, and BlackRock.
They're going to walk away with a lot of checks for a lot of things that you're going to provide, and in the United States it's probably 2 million jobs that we're talking about.
The White House announced Trump secured $600 billion of Saudi investments for the U.S., but the deals they detailed only added up to $283 billion. The administration said more agreements will be formalized in the next year. Trump's emphasis on securing business deals stresses the foundation of his foreign policy to promote American interests over issues like human rights. During Trump's first term, the CIA concluded it was MBS who ordered the assassination of American journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Today, Trump said this.
Far too many American presidents have been afflicted with the notion that it's our job to look into the souls of foreign leaders and use U.S. policy to dispense justice for their sins.
In Riyadh, we spoke with the Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright.
Do you know if the president talked about Jamal Khashoggi in private or condemned it?
That's many, many years ago, so I would say quite unlikely. It certainly didn't come up in any of the dialogues I had.
It was many years ago, but it still happened to an American journalist. So is the U.S. just turning an eye to look forward to all these investments?
Yeah, I think if you look at any society, certainly on our own, if you find a worse moment in a society, can you find bad things? Of course you can. So yeah, I don't think myself or the president have any concerns about human rights in Saudi Arabia.
But today, President Trump also announced that he would be lifting sanctions on Syria that were aimed at its former longtime dictator Bashar al-Assad, who was overthrown last year. This move is an economic lifeline to Syria, and Trump plans to meet with its new president tomorrow here in Saudi Arabia.
And Weijia, a lot of our viewers might remember that the Saudis promised quite a bit back in 2017. Whatever became of that?
That's right. President Trump said during his first term that the Saudis committed to investing $450 billion into the United States. But an economic analysis by the Arab Gulf States Institute found that the number of exports of goods and services from America to Saudi Arabia during the time he was president, his first term, was $92 billion. That's a fifth of what was promised.
Another first-term concern for the Trump administration was normalizing relations between Saudi Arabia and Israel. Did that come up in this second-term trip?
Well, even today, John, the president said it is his fervent hope and dream to normalize relations between Saudi Arabia and Israel. But he wants this country to do it on its own time. And the Crown Prince has made clear that that is not a possibility until there is a solution to a Palestinian state and a permanent end to the war in Gaza, both things that are not realistic anytime soon.